The Kawaii Crochet Club's peaceful island dream. Settling in, let yourself sink a little deeper into your bed right now. Feel the softness beneath you, the gentle weight of your blankets, the pillow cradling your head just right. You don't need to do anything at all except rest here, safe and warm. Take a slow breath in and let it go, soft and easy. Feel your shoulders drop just a little. That's perfect. Another gentle breath in and out, like a calm wave rolling onto shore and pulling softly back again. Your body is becoming heavier now, settling deeper, letting go of the day. One more slow breath, in and out. Feel yourself growing peaceful, calm, ready to drift into a gentle story, a dreamy place where everything is soft and safe and very, very slow. And now, let's begin. Arriving in paradise. The Kawaii Crochet Club, 4 little crocheted friends made of the softest yarn, were traveling together to a place they had always dreamed of visiting. A place of warm breezes and moonlit beaches. A place where palm trees swayed slowly, slowly under endless blue skies. A place called Hawaii. Peach the bunny sat by the airplane window, her soft pink yarn glowing in the golden light. Her long floppy ears rested gently against the seat, and she watched the ocean far below, sparkling like scattered diamonds. She felt peaceful, so peaceful. Beside her, Biscuit the bear was already half asleep, his honey-colored yarn rising and falling with each slow, steady breath. His paws rested on his round belly, and a tiny smile curved across his crocheted face. He was dreaming of warm sand and gentle waves. Mittens, the cat, sat across the aisle, her gray and white yarn neat and tidy. Her little paws held a guidebook about Hawaii, but she wasn't really reading anymore. She was simply looking at pictures of beaches and palm trees, feeling the calmness of the islands already settling into her heart. And Sunny the duck, bright yellow and cheerful, was humming a soft, wordless tune. It was a tune that sounded like sunshine, like morning light, like everything good and gentle in the world. Her little orange feet tapped quietly, slowly, against the airplane floor. The plane began its descent. Through the window, they could see the islands now, green and lush, surrounded by water so blue it looked like a dream. The plane lowered, gently, gently, through soft white clouds. There was no rush. Everything happened slowly, peacefully. The wheels touched down with barely a bump. The plane rolled to a stop. The doors opened, and warm, flower-scented air drifted inside. "We're here," whispered Peach, her voice soft as a lullaby. "We're here," echoed Biscuit, yawning gently. "We're really here," said Mittens, closing her guidebook with a happy sigh. "Hawaii," breathed Sunny, and the word felt like magic on her tongue. They stepped out into the island air, and it wrapped around them like the softest blanket. Warm, but not too warm. Gentle, easy. The breeze smelled of plumeria blossoms and salt and something sweet they couldn't quite name. Palm trees swayed overhead, their leaves making a peaceful rustling sound, like 1,000 tiny whispers saying, "Welcome, welcome, rest, rest." The four friends stood together for a moment, just breathing, in and out, in and out. The island breathed with them. They collected their little suitcases, each one soft and carefully packed with yarn and crochet hooks and cozy things, and made their way to their hotel. The taxi that picked them up was painted with hibiscus flowers, and the driver was a kind crocheted parrot in a flower crown who spoke in a slow, musical voice. "Aloha, friends," the parrot said. "No hurry today. No hurry at all." And there wasn't. The taxi moved slowly through streets lined with swaying palms. They passed shops with colorful awnings, gardens overflowing with flowers, and glimpses of the ocean, blue and endless. Everything felt like a dream, soft around the edges, unhurried, peaceful. When they arrived at their hotel, it was a low building painted the color of sand, with open-air hallways and vines growing up the railings. Their room had a balcony that looked out over the ocean. The sunset was just beginning, the sky turning from blue to gold to the palest, softest pink. The four friends stood on the balcony together, watching. No one spoke. They just watched the sun sink lower, lower, the colors deepening into coral and rose and lavender. The ocean reflected every color like a mirror made of silk. "It's beautiful," Peach finally whispered. "So beautiful," agreed Biscuit. And it was. It truly was. They watched until the sun disappeared completely, leaving only the gentlest glow on the horizon. Stars began to appear one by one, like tiny stitches of light being added to the darkening sky. "Tomorrow," said Mitten softly, "we'll begin our island adventure." "But tonight," said Sunny, "we rest." And they did. They changed into their softest pajamas, climbed into their beds, and listened to the sound of the ocean in the distance. Waves rolling in, rolling out, rolling in, rolling out, until sleep found them, gentle and deep. Morning light and Dole, Whip dreams. The next morning arrived slowly. Light crept through the curtains like honey, golden and sweet. The sound of birdsong drifted in, crocheted birds with bright feathers, singing gentle songs. The ocean continued its rhythm, in and out, in and out. Peach woke first, stretching her soft bunny arms above her head and yawning. She padded to the balcony and looked out at the morning. The ocean was calm, glittering in the early light. A few crocheted surfers, a dolphin, a turtle, an octopus, were already out in the water, riding the gentlest waves, moving with the rhythm of the sea. One by one, the others woke. Biscuit shuffled out, rubbing his eyes. Mittens emerged, looking neat and tidy. Sunny bounced out, humming her cheerful little tune. "Good morning, island," Peach said to the world outside. "Good morning, ocean," added Biscuit. "Good morning, sun," said Mittens. "Good morning, friends," finished Sunny. They got dressed in their lightest, softest clothes. Tank tops and shorts in pastel colors, little sun hats and sandals. They packed a small bag with sunscreen and towels and their crochet supplies, because you never know when inspiration might strike. Their first stop was a place they had all been dreaming about, the Dole Whip stand. The walk there was peaceful. They strolled along a path lined with tropical flowers, hibiscus in red and yellow, plumeria in white and pink, birds of paradise standing tall like little orange and purple flames. The breeze moved through the leaves, creating patterns of light and shadow on the path. When they reached the Dole Whip stand, a crocheted pineapple wearing a cheerful apron greeted them. "Aloha, what can I get for you today?" "4 Dole Whips, please," said Peach politely. "Coming right up." They watched as the pineapple pulled a lever, and soft, swirled pineapple ice cream began to flow into cups. It was the color of sunshine, pale yellow and perfect. The pineapple topped each one with a careful swirl and handed them over with a warm smile. The 4 friends found a shaded bench beneath a palm tree. They sat down together, cups in hand, and took their first taste. Oh, oh, it was wonderful. Cool and creamy, sweet and tangy, tasting like pineapple and summer and joy all mixed together. The texture was so smooth, melting gently on the tongue. Peach closed her eyes and savored it, feeling the coolness travel all the way down, soothing and refreshing. Biscuit took a slow, happy lick and sighed. "This," he said, "is perfect." Mittens nodded, taking another small taste. "It tastes like sunshine." Sunny hummed in agreement, swaying slightly as she enjoyed her treat. They ate slowly, so slowly, making each bite last. There was no rush. The world was gentle around them, the palm fronds swaying, the distant sound of waves, the warmth of the sun filtered through leaves. Time felt soft, stretched out like taffy, sweet and easy. When they finished, they sat a little longer, letting the last traces of pineapple sweetness linger. The breeze played with Peach's ears, Biscuit yawned contentedly, Mittens smoothed her whiskers, Sunny smiled at the sky. "What should we do next?" Mittens asked, though she didn't sound like she was in any hurry for an answer. "Let's walk," suggested Peach. "Just walk and see where the island takes us." And so they did. They wandered down paths they'd never seen before, past gardens and quiet shops and glimpses of the ocean. They stopped to look at things that caught their eye. A particularly beautiful flower, a little fountain with coins at the bottom, a mural painted on a wall showing sea turtles and whales. Everything felt like a gift. Everything felt peaceful. Eventually, their wandering brought them to a beach. The sand was soft and warm beneath their feet, shifting and giving with each step. The ocean stretched out before them, endless and blue, with gentle waves rolling in one after another, each one the same, but somehow different. They walked along the shore, letting the water lap at their feet. The foam was white and bubbly, tickling their toes. Shells dotted the sand, tiny treasures in pink and cream and pearl. They collected a few, just the prettiest ones, turning them over in their paws and admiring the patterns. Peach found a shell that spiraled like a little staircase. Biscuit found one that was perfectly round and smooth. Mittens found one with tiny ridges you could feel with your fingertips. Sunny found one that looked like a fan. They added them to their bag, little memories of this peaceful morning. As they walked, they noticed a group of crocheted children building a sandcastle. The children were different animals, a bunny, a bear, a cat, a duck, just like themselves, only smaller. They worked together, patting sand into place, adding towers and walls and a little moat. The Crochet Club stopped to watch, smiling. "That's a beautiful castle," Peach said gently. The little bunny looked up and beamed. "Thank you." We're making it as tall as we can." "It's wonderful," said Biscuit. "You're doing a great job." The children glowed with pride and went back to their work, humming and chatting in their small, sweet voices. The Crochet Club continued their walk, feeling the warmth of the sun, the softness of the sand, the gentle rhythm of the waves. Everything was slow. Everything was good. After a while, they found a spot to sit, a place where the sand was especially soft, beneath the shade of a palm tree. They settled down, leaning against each other in a cozy little pile. Biscuit's head rested on Peach's shoulder. Mittens leaned against Biscuit. Sunny nestled against Mittens. They watched the ocean together. Waves came in one after another, in and out, in and out. The sound was like breathing, like a lullaby, like the heartbeat of the world. Peach felt her eyes growing heavy. Biscuit yawned. Mittens blinked slowly. Sunny's humming grew softer, quieter, until it faded away completely. They might have dozed there, just for a little while, rocked by the rhythm of the sea. Time passed. It didn't matter how much. When they stirred again, the sun had moved higher in the sky, and they felt rested and peaceful, ready for whatever came next. Meeting Ryder, it was Mittens who noticed him first. Out in the water, beyond where the waves were breaking, a figure glided through the ocean with such grace and ease that it looked like dancing. It was a sea turtle, crocheted in shades of green and turquoise and deep ocean blue, with a shell that caught the sunlight and sparkled. But what made him especially remarkable was that he was riding a surfboard, not frantically, not in a hurry, but slowly, smoothly, standing on the board with perfect balance. As a gentle wave carried him forward, he moved with the water as if he and the ocean were old friends, as if they understood each other completely. "Look," Mittens whispered, pointing. The others looked. They watched as the turtle rode the wave all the way to shore, stepping off his board with a smooth, practiced motion. He tucked the board under one arm and walked up the beach toward them, moving with a kind of relaxed confidence that made everything seem easy. He was wearing a shell necklace and had a small hibiscus flower tucked behind one ear. His eyes were kind and warm, and when he smiled, it was the sort of smile that made you feel instantly welcome. "Aloha," he said, his voice deep and calm, like stones rolling in the surf. "Beautiful day, yeah?" "Aloha," the four friends replied, smiling back. The turtle set down his board and settled onto the sand beside them, moving slowly and deliberately. "I'm Ryder," he said, "sea turtle, surfer, and lover of good waves and good company." "I'm Peach," said Peach, "and this is Biscuit, Mittens, and Sunny. We're the Kawaii Crochet Club." "Crochet Club?" Ryder's eyes lit up with interest. "That's cool, very cool. You make things?" "We do," said Mittens. "Blankets, hats, scarves, all sorts of cozy things." "That's beautiful, man. Real beautiful." Ryder leaned back on his flippers, looking out at the ocean with a peaceful expression. "I love making things too, in a way. I ride waves. That's why they call me Ryder. Always riding, always flowing with the water. Been doing it my whole life." "It looked amazing," said Sunny. "You made it look so easy." Ryder chuckled, a warm, rumbling sound. "It is easy, once you learn to listen to the ocean. The waves tell you what to do. You just gotta be patient, be present, feel the rhythm. It's all about moving with the water, not against it. Going slow, staying calm. He paused, gazing out at the horizon. Surfing's like meditation for me. When I'm out there, riding a wave, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just there in the moment, feeling the water beneath me, the sun on my shell, the wind in my face. It's peaceful, you know, real peaceful. The Crochet Club nodded. They understood that kind of peace. They felt it when they crocheted, when their hooks moved through yarn in a steady rhythm, stitch after stitch after stitch. Would you like to learn? Ryder asked, glancing at them with a friendly smile. I'd be happy to teach you. We can take it real slow, real gentle. No pressure, just fun. The four friends looked at each other, eyes wide with excitement and a touch of nervousness. I've never surfed before, said Peach softly. That's okay, Ryder said. Most folks haven't. That's why we start easy. We'll practice on the beach first, just getting the feel of the board. Then we'll go out in the shallow water where the waves are tiny and soft. I'll be with you the whole time. It's safe and it's fun, and if you fall, you just float right back up. Crochet folks are buoyant. Great for surfing. Biscuit perked up. That does sound nice. I'd like to try, said Mittens. Me too, chirped Sunny. Peach smiled. Okay, let's do it. Ryder beamed. Awesome. Let me grab some extra boards. Be right back. He rose smoothly to his feet and walked up the beach to a small wooden shack painted turquoise and white. He disappeared inside and emerged moments later, carrying 4 surfboards, each one a different soft color: pale pink, honey yellow, soft gray, and sunny yellow, as if he'd chosen them specifically for each of them. He carried the boards down to where they sat and laid them gently on the sand. Okay, friends, let's start with the basics. Surfing lessons on the sand. Riders stood before them, calm and unhurried. The sun was warm but not hot, filtered through a few high, lazy clouds. The breeze was gentle. The ocean continued its rhythm in the background, steady and soothing. First thing, Ryder said, is just getting comfortable with your board. This is your friend out there on the water. You want to trust it, and you want it to trust you. He demonstrated, lying down on his own board on the sand. See how I lie flat? Chest on the board, arms forward. You're nice and balanced, nice and low. This is your paddling position. The 4 friends lay down on their own boards, mimicking him. The boards felt smooth and solid beneath them. Peach wiggled a little to get comfortable. Biscuit sighed happily. It was almost like lying on a raft. Mittens positioned herself precisely. Sunny giggled. Perfect, said Ryder. Now when you're out in the water and a wave comes, you'll pop up to standing. But we're not gonna rush that. Let's practice the motion here, nice and slow. He demonstrated, moving from lying flat to a kneeling position, then placing 1 foot forward, then rising slowly to standing, arms out for balance. Every movement was deliberate, smooth, unhurried. See? Slow and steady. Let's try just the pop-up. Lie flat, then hands beneath your shoulders. Push up, bring your knees under you, then 1 foot forward, then stand. Take your time. It's not a race. They tried it together, moving through the motions slowly. Peach pushed up carefully, bringing her knees beneath her, wobbling slightly. Biscuit moved with deliberate slowness, grunting softly with the effort. Mittens was precise and controlled. Sunny bounced up enthusiastically, then had to steady herself. Great, great, Ryder encouraged. Do it again, and again. Get the feel of it in your muscles. Your body will remember. They practiced over and over. Lie down, push up, knees, foot forward, stand, lie down, push up, knees, foot forward, stand, over and over. The repetition was soothing. The movements became smoother, easier. Their bodies began to remember, just like Ryder said. The sound of the waves in the background seemed to match their rhythm. In and up, in and up. After a while, Ryder smiled. You're all doing amazing. Ready to feel the water? They nodded, excited and nervous in equal measure. Ryder picked up his board and tucked it under his arm. Follow me. We'll start in the shallows. They followed him to the water's edge where the waves lapped gently at their feet. The water was warm, almost the same temperature as the air. It felt wonderful. Lie on your boards in the water, Ryder instructed. Just float. Get used to how it feels. They waded in a little deeper, only knee-deep, and lay on their boards. Immediately, they felt the difference. The boards bobbed gently with the motion of the water, rising and falling, rising and falling. It was like being rocked in a cradle. Peach closed her eyes and smiled. It felt so peaceful. Good, said Ryder. Now paddle a little. Just move your arms like you're swimming, slow and easy. They paddled, moving their arms through the water. The boards glided forward smoothly, cutting through the gentle waves. It was easier than they'd expected. The boards wanted to move, wanted to glide. Beautiful, Ryder said. You're naturals. Now let's catch a wave. He positioned himself a little farther out, where the waves were just starting to swell. I'll push you into the wave, he explained. When you feel it catch you, do your pop-up. But remember, slow and steady. Don't rush. The wave will carry you. Peach volunteered to go first. She paddled out to Ryder, turned her board toward the shore, and waited. Ryder floated behind her, holding the back of her board. A gentle wave approached, barely a foot tall, rolling in with a soft hiss of foam. Here we go, Ryder said calmly. Paddle, paddle, paddle. Peach paddled, and Ryder gave her board a gentle push. Suddenly, she felt it. The wave caught her board and began to carry her forward. The sensation was incredible, like flying, like floating, like being lifted by something much bigger than herself. Pop up, Ryder called, his voice calm and encouraging. Peach pushed up with her arms, brought her knees beneath her, placed one foot forward, and stood. For a moment, just a brief, beautiful moment, she was standing on the board, riding the wave toward shore. The wind touched her face. The water rushed beneath her. She was gliding, gliding, gliding. Then she wobbled, lost her balance, and tumbled gently into the water with a soft splash. But Ryder was right. She just floated right back up, laughing, exhilarated. I did it, she called out. I stood up. You sure did, Ryder called back, grinning. That was awesome. One by one, the others took their turns. Biscuit caught a wave and managed to stand for several long seconds, arms out for balance, before sitting down gently on his board with a laugh. Mittens executed her pop-up with precision and rode nearly all the way to shore before stepping off gracefully. Sunny popped up with such enthusiasm that she immediately fell, but she came up giggling and tried again, and again, and again. They spent a long, peaceful time in the water, catching wave after gentle wave. Ryder stayed with them the whole time, offering quiet encouragement, adjusting their stance, reminding them to breathe and stay relaxed. The sun moved slowly across the sky. Time felt liquid, flowing like the water around them. There was no urgency, just the waves, the boards, the feeling of gliding and floating and being held by something vast and gentle. Eventually, Ryder called them in. "That's enough for today. You all did so great. Let's rest." They paddled to shore, tired but glowing with happiness. Their yarn was damp, but it would dry quickly in the warm air. They carried their boards back to the sand and set them down, then flopped onto the beach in a contented heap. Ryder sat down beside them, crossing his flippers and looking out at the ocean with a satisfied expression. "You're all surfers now," he said quietly. "You rode the waves. That's something special." They smiled, too tired to say much, but feeling warm and proud and peaceful all at once. The ocean continued its rhythm, in and out, in and out. A request from the sea. They rested there for a while, letting the sun dry their yarn, listening to the waves, feeling the soft sand beneath them. Seabirds, crocheted gulls with white and gray feathers, circled overhead, calling to each other in gentle voices. After a while, Ryder spoke again, his tone thoughtful and calm. "You know," he said, "I wanted to ask you something, since you're the crochet club and all." "Of course," said Peach, propping herself up on her elbows. "What is it?" Ryder gazed out at the water, his expression fond. "I have a lot of friends who live in the ocean, sea turtles like me. We spend most of our time in the water, swimming, diving, riding the currents. But at night, especially when the moon is full and bright, we like to come ashore to rest. We climb up onto the beach and sleep under the stars." He paused, smiling softly. "It's peaceful, sleeping on the sand with the sound of the waves nearby. But sometimes, when the breeze picks up or the night gets a little cool, we wish we had something soft and warm to cover ourselves with, something cozy." He looked at them, his eyes hopeful. "I was wondering, do you think you could make some blankets for us? Soft, breathable ones that we could use when we sleep on the beach? It would mean a lot to us. It would make our nights even more peaceful." The four friends looked at each other and warmth bloomed in their chests. "Of course," said Peach immediately. "We'd love to." "Absolutely," agreed Biscuit. "It would be our honor," said Mittens. "We'll make the coziest blankets ever," declared Sunny. Ryder's face lit up with joy. "Really? Oh man, that's so kind of you. So kind. My friends are going to be so happy." "How many blankets do you need?" asked Mittens, already thinking practically. Ryder considered. "Well, there are about 12 of us who come to this beach regularly, so 12 blankets would be perfect, but no rush. Take your time. Make them however you like. We trust you." 12 blankets, Peach repeated, nodding. "We can do that." "Do you have any color preferences?" asked Mittens. Ryder thought for a moment. "Maybe colors that remind you of the ocean and the beach. Blues, greens, sandy colors, maybe some coral or sea foam. But really, whatever you think is best. You're the artists. We have the perfect yarn, said Sunny excitedly. We brought so much with us. Ryder smiled. I knew I could count on you. Thank you, friends. Really. They spent a little while longer with Ryder, talking about the island, about surfing, about the sea turtles and their habits. Ryder told them stories in his slow, soothing voice. Stories about swimming through coral reefs, about seeing dolphins and whales, about the way the moonlight looks when you're floating on your back in the water. His voice was like the ocean itself, deep, rhythmic, calming. They could have listened to him forever. But eventually, the sun began to dip lower in the sky, and they knew it was time to head back to their hotel. We'll start working on the blankets tonight, Peach promised. And we'll bring them to you when they're done, added Biscuit. No rush, Ryder said again, rising to his feet. Take your time, enjoy the island, and hey, come surf with me anytime. You're always welcome. They exchanged warm goodbyes, and Ryder walked back down to the water with his board, wading in slowly and paddling out to catch a few more waves before sunset. The Crochet Club gathered their things and began the walk back to their hotel, their hearts full and their minds already spinning with ideas for the blankets they would make. Sunset Luau. That evening, the Crochet Club attended a traditional Hawaiian luau, a gentle, peaceful celebration held on the beach as the sun began to set. They arrived to find the beach transformed. Torches flickered with warm, golden light, not harsh or bright, but soft and comforting, like dozens of candles. Long tables were set with woven mats and tropical flowers. The air smelled of roasted pineapple and coconut, and something smoky and delicious. Crocheted animals of all kinds were gathered there. A pig in a flower crown, a mongoose in a grass skirt, a parrot strumming a ukulele, a dolphin wearing a lei. Everyone was smiling, relaxed, moving slowly through the evening. A crocheted turtle, different from Ryder, with a shell patterned in browns and golds, greeted them at the entrance and placed leis around their necks. The flowers were soft and fragrant, plumeria and pikake, their petals like silk against their yarn. Aloha, the turtle said warmly. Welcome to our luau. Please come in, make yourselves comfortable. They found seats at one of the long tables, next to a friendly crocheted seal and her family. The seal introduced herself as Lani and her children as Kai and Moana. The little ones were shy at first, hiding behind their mother, but soon warmed up and began chattering about their favorite island activities. As they talked, the sun continued its descent. The sky was transforming, gold melting into orange, orange bleeding into pink, pink softening into lavender. The ocean reflected every color, shimmering like a painting. Look, Peach whispered, and they all turned to watch. The sun sank lower, lower, its light spreading across the water in a golden path. The clouds caught fire with color, coral and rose and peach and amber. Everything glowed. Time seemed to slow. Everyone at the luau paused to watch, conversation fading into silence. There was only the sunset, the waves, the warm breeze, and the sense of being part of something vast and beautiful. The sun touched the horizon. For a moment, it balanced there, a perfect circle of gold. Then it slipped lower, half gone, then just a sliver, then gone completely. The sky remained bright for a while after, holding on to the colors like a memory. Gradually, the gold faded, the pink softened, the lavender deepened into purple, into blue, into the first whisper of night. Stars began to appear. First one, then two, then dozens, then hundreds, scattered across the sky like sugar spilled on dark cloth. The torches seemed brighter now against the darkness, their flames dancing slowly, peacefully. "That was beautiful," Biscuit said softly. "So beautiful," the others echoed. Dinner was served, a feast of island foods. There was kalua pork, tender and smoky, falling apart at the touch of a fork. There was poi, smooth and subtly sweet. There was lomi lomi salmon, fresh and bright with tomatoes and onions. There were sweet potatoes, roasted until caramelized. There was haupia, a coconut pudding so creamy and cool it melted on the tongue. They ate slowly, savoring each bite, talking quietly with Lonnie and her family and the other guests. Everyone was kind, welcoming, happy to share stories and laughter. After dinner, the entertainment began. Hula and fire dancing. A group of crocheted dancers took the stage, a simple platform set up on the sand, draped with tropical leaves and flowers. The dancers were beautiful, made of yarn in shades of brown and tan and warm gold, wearing grass skirts and flower crowns and shell necklaces. A crocheted frog began to play a drum, a steady, gentle rhythm. Another frog joined in with a ukulele, soft and melodic. A bird shook a rattle made from a gourd. The dancers began to move. Hula, Ryder had told them earlier, is a storytelling dance. Every movement means something. The swaying hips like the ocean's waves, the flowing arms like the wind, the gentle steps like walking through water. The dancers moved slowly, gracefully, their arms flowing through the air like water, their hips swaying in time with the drum. Their faces were peaceful, serene, lost in the story they were telling. The Crochet Club watched, mesmerized. The dance was so gentle, so unhurried. Each movement flowed into the next like breathing. Like the rise and fall of the tide, Peach felt her own body swaying slightly, unconsciously matching the rhythm. After a while, the lead dancer, a graceful crocheted deer with flowers woven through her antlers, smiled at the audience and beckoned them forward. "Come," she said, her voice like honey. "Come dance with us. It's easy. Just feel the music and move." Some of the guests stood and made their way to the stage. Peach looked at her friends. "Should we?" she asked. "Let's try," said Sunny, already standing. They joined the others on the stage, standing in a loose circle around the dancers. The deer and her fellow dancers moved among them, showing them simple movements. "Arms like this," the deer said, demonstrating. "Soft, flowing, like you're painting the air." They tried it, arms sweeping to the side, then the other side, smooth and slow. "And step to the side, side, side," the deer continued. "Sway your hips with each step. Feel the rhythm in your body." They stepped side to side, swaying gently. It felt awkward at first, but as they continued, as the drum kept its steady beat and the ukulele hummed its gentle tune, it began to feel natural. Peach closed her eyes and let herself feel the rhythm. Side, 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 arms flowing, hips swaying, like the ocean, like the wind. Beside her, Biscuit was smiling, moving with surprising grace for a bear. Mittens was precise and elegant. Sunny was bouncing happily, her movements enthusiastic if not quite accurate. They danced together under the stars, surrounded by new friends, the torches casting warm light, the ocean singing its endless song. It was peaceful, it was joyful, it was perfect. After the hula dancing, the fire dancers took the stage. Now, in some stories, fire dancers might seem dangerous or intense. But not here, not in this gentle island dream. The fire dancers were crocheted animals too, a pair of ferrets in matching outfits, twirling staffs wrapped with cloth on both ends. When they lit the cloth, the flames that appeared were soft and warm, glowing rather than blazing, moving slowly through the air like liquid gold. The dancers began their performance, spinning the staffs in slow, hypnotic circles. The fire left trails of light in the darkness, spirals and loops and figure eights. The movements were mesmerizing, slow enough to follow, fast enough to be beautiful. The Crochet Club watched, their eyes following the patterns of light: circle, loop, spiral, figure eight, circle, loop, spiral, figure eight. The rhythm was soothing. The warmth from the flames was gentle, like sitting near a cozy fireplace. The dancers moved with such confidence and ease, never hurried, never frantic, just flowing from one movement to the next. Peach felt her eyelids growing heavy. The dancing flames, the soft drum beat, the warmth of the fire, the full belly from dinner, all of it combined to make her feel sleepy and content. Beside her, Biscuit was already yawning. Mittens blinked slowly. Sunny swayed slightly, humming under her breath. When the fire dancers finished, everyone applauded softly, gratefully. The dancers bowed and smiled, their faces glowing in the firelight. The luau began to wind down. Guests started to gather their things, saying warm goodnights, thanking the hosts. The torches burned lower. The moon had risen, nearly full, casting silver light across the beach. The Crochet Club said goodbye to Lonnie and her family, promising to meet again. They walked slowly back to their hotel, their leis still around their necks, their hearts full of music and dance and beauty. When they reached their room, they changed into their softest pajamas and climbed into bed. Today was wonderful, Peach said sleepily. So wonderful, agreed the others. They fell asleep quickly, deeply, dreaming of waves and firelight and the gentle swaying of the hula. Morning snorkeling. The next morning, they woke with the sun and decided to try something new. Snorkeling. Ryder had mentioned a good spot just down the beach, a place where the reef was close to shore and the water was calm and shallow, perfect for beginners. They packed their beach bag with towels and sunscreen and walked down to the rental hut, where a cheerful crocheted octopus named Eight, because, of course, 8 arms, fitted them with snorkel masks and fins. The masks fit over your eyes and nose, Eight explained, her voice bubbly and kind. The tube lets you breathe while your face is in the water. Just breathe slowly and calmly through your mouth. If any water gets in, just lift your head up and drain it. Easy peasy. She showed them how to put on the fins, big, floppy flippers that made walking on land feel silly, but would help them glide smoothly through the water. They waddled down to the water's edge, giggling at their awkward gait, and waded in. The water was perfect, warm and clear as glass. They could see the sandy bottom beneath them, rippled by the waves, dotted with small shells and bits of coral. "Put your faces in," 8 encouraged. "Just float and look." They did. One by one, they lowered their faces into the water, looking down through their masks. Oh, a whole new world opened up beneath them. The reef was a garden of color. Coral in every shade, pink and purple and orange and yellow and green, grew in clusters and branches and fans. Fish darted everywhere, bright as jewels. A school of yellow fish with black stripes swam past, moving together like one shimmering being. A blue fish with a yellow tail nibbled at some algae. A parrotfish, rainbow-colored, crunched on coral, its beak-like mouth making soft clicking sounds. Peach floated on the surface, breathing slowly through her snorkel, just watching. It was like being in an aquarium, except this was real, alive, moving with its own rhythm. A sea turtle, not Ryder, but perhaps one of his friends, glided by beneath her, its flippers moving in slow, graceful strokes. It didn't seem bothered by her presence at all. It just swam, peacefully, heading wherever sea turtles go. Beside her, Biscuit was pointing at something. A tiny octopus changing colors, shifting from red to brown to gray to match the rock it was clinging to. Mittens was watching a moray eel peeking out from a crevice, its mouth opening and closing as it breathed. Sunny was chasing after a school of silverfish, giggling through her snorkel. They floated for a long time, just looking, just breathing, just being. The ocean held them gently, rocking them with its rhythm. The sun filtered through the water in shafts of light, making everything glow. It was peaceful, so peaceful. Eventually, they lifted their heads and looked at each other, smiles visible even behind their masks. They didn't need to say anything. They all felt the same wonder, the same awe, the same gratitude for being allowed to see this beautiful underwater world. They swam for a while longer, then made their way back to shore, returning their gear to 8 with many thanks. "Did you see the turtle?" 8 asked excitedly. "We did," said Peach. "That might have been Keanu," 8 said. "He's one of Ryder's crew. Sweet guy. Loves seaweed." They smiled, happy to have met another of Ryder's friends, even if only in passing. After snorkeling, they rinsed off under an outdoor shower, cool water that felt refreshing after the salt of the sea, and returned to their hotel to change and dry off. They spent the rest of the morning relaxing on their balcony, sipping coconut water and looking out at the ocean, replaying the sights they'd seen beneath the surface. "I can't wait to start making those blankets for Ryder and his friends," Peach said. "They're so kind. They deserve something cozy." "Let's start soon," agreed Mittens. "Maybe tomorrow?" "Tomorrow," they all agreed. But first, there was more island to explore. The volcano viewpoint. In the afternoon, they took a gentle bus ride to visit one of Hawaii's famous volcanic landscapes. Now, in other stories, volcanoes might be scary or dangerous, but not here. The volcano they visited was peaceful, resting, its active days long behind it. What remained was a landscape of quiet power, black lava fields stretching out like frozen waves, steam rising gently from vents in the earth, the smell of sulfur faint and earthy on the breeze. They walked along a safe paved path that wound through the lava fields, reading signs that explained how the landscape had formed. how the lava had flowed slowly and cooled into these shapes. Smooth pahoeho in some places, looking like folded fabric, and rough ah in others, looking like broken glass. The lava was black and dark gray, but in the sunlight it had a subtle shimmer, almost iridescent. Here and there, small plants had taken root, tiny ferns and grasses pushing up through cracks, bringing green life back to the black stone. It was humbling, standing there, seeing the power of the earth made visible. They walked slowly, quietly, taking it all in. The landscape felt ancient, timeless, patient. At a viewpoint, they stopped to rest and look out over the crater. A vast bowl in the earth, its sides steep and striated, its bottom flat and gray. Steam rose from a few spots, drifting lazily upward. "It's sleeping," Biscuit said softly. "Resting," agreed Peach. They stood together, feeling small and quiet in the face of something so big. A park ranger, a kindly crocheted mongoose with a ranger hat, came by and told them about the volcano's history, about how it had created the islands themselves, one eruption at a time, building up and up from the ocean floor until the peaks broke the surface and became land. "The earth is always changing," the ranger said gently, "always creating, always building. It just takes time, lots and lots of time." They thanked the ranger and continued their walk, eventually making their way back to the bus stop. On the ride back to their hotel, they watched the landscape pass by, lava fields giving way to scrubby bushes, then forests, then the coast again, the ocean sparkling in the afternoon light. They felt peaceful, full of awe, grateful for the chance to see such wonders. Beginning the blankets. That evening, after a simple dinner of fresh fish and rice, the Crochet Club gathered in their hotel room and spread out their yarn. They had brought a lot, more than they thought they'd need, but it turned out to be just right. They had yarn in every shade of blue imaginable: pale sky blue, deep ocean blue, turquoise, teal, aqua, seafoam. They had greens, soft sage, bright lime, deep forest. They had sandy colors: cream, beige, tan, light brown. They had coral pinks and shell whites and pearl grays. They spread it all out on the floor, organizing it by color, admiring the way the skeins looked together. "Let's make each blanket different," Mittens suggested. "That way each turtle can have one that feels special to them." "Good idea," said Peach. "We can use different color combinations and patterns." They began to plan. Mittens, always organized, pulled out a notebook and started sketching ideas. She drew little swatches showing different color combinations: ocean blue with seafoam accents, sandy beige with coral stripes, teal and white in a wave pattern. Sunny gathered yarn, holding up different skeins next to each other, seeing how they looked together. "Ooh, this turquoise with this cream, pretty." Biscuit tested the softness of different yarns, running them through his paws. "We want them to be so cozy, so soft." Peach began to think about stitch patterns. Something open and breathable since they'll be using them on the beach. Maybe a shell stitch or granny squares. They discussed and planned, passing yarn back and forth, holding up combinations, changing their minds, trying again. It was a slow, pleasant process, full of creativity and collaboration. Finally, they each chose a blanket to start with. Peach picked ocean blue and sea foam, planning a ripple pattern that would look like waves. Biscuit chose sandy beige with little touches of coral, going for a simple but elegant shell stitch. Mittens selected several shades of green, planning to make granny squares in different tones and piece them together like a mosaic. Sunny grabbed turquoise and white, eager to create bold stripes. They settled into their favorite crocheting spots. Peach in an armchair, Biscuit on the floor with his back against the couch, Mittens at the desk, Sunny sprawled on her belly on the bed, and began. Hook into the yarn over, pull through, chain stitch. The familiar rhythm took over. Chain, 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 turn. First row, single crochet across. The stitches marched in a neat line, one after another. Yarn over, insert hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, again, again. The repetition was soothing. Their hands knew what to do. The movements were automatic, meditative. They worked in comfortable silence for a while. The only sounds, the soft click of hooks against each other, and the whisper of yarn sliding through their paws. Outside, the sun set again. Another beautiful display of color and light. The sky dimmed. The room grew dark. Mittens turned on a lamp, casting warm golden light over their work. They continued crocheting. Peach's ripple pattern began to emerge, the waves rising and falling in blue and sea foam. Biscuit's shell stitch created delicate scallops along the edge. Mittens's first granny square was complete, a little medallion of green. Sunny's stripes were bold and cheerful, turquoise and white alternating in bright rows. Their breathing matched their crocheting, in and out, stitch by stitch, row by row. Time passed. It didn't matter how much. After a while, Sunny yawned. "I'm getting sleepy." "Me too," admitted Biscuit. They looked at their work. Each had made good progress. Peach had several inches of ripples. Biscuit's shell pattern was well established. Mittens had 3 granny squares. Completed, Sunny's stripes were nearly a foot long. "We'll work on them more tomorrow," Peach said, setting her hook down gently. "And the next day, and the day after. We have time." "Lots of time," agreed Mittens, folding her squares carefully. They put their projects away in their crochet bags, turned off the lamp, and got ready for bed. As they lay in the darkness, listening to the distant sound of the ocean, Peach said softly, "I love making things for others." "Me too," whispered the others, and they drifted off to sleep, their minds full of yarn and stitches and the sea turtles who would one day rest beneath the blankets they were making. Days of gentle work. The next several days fell into a beautiful, peaceful rhythm. Each morning, they woke with the sun. They would eat breakfast on their balcony, fresh fruit and warm bread and coffee for those who wanted it, tea for others, juice for Sunny. Then they would spend part of the day exploring. One day, they took a gentle hike through a rainforest, walking beneath towering trees draped with ferns, listening to the calls of crocheted tropical birds, stopping to admire waterfalls that tumbled down moss-covered rocks into clear pools. Another day, they visited a botanical garden, wandering through sections devoted to different kinds of plants. Hibiscus in 100 varieties, orchids like jeweled butterflies, protea flowers large and alien and beautiful, palms from every island in the Pacific. They took a boat ride to see dolphins, crocheted dolphins with knowing eyes who swam alongside the boat, leaping and spinning, their movements pure joy. They attended a traditional Hawaiian music concert, sitting on mats under the stars, listening to slack key guitar and gentle voices singing in Hawaiian, the words melodic and beautiful, even without understanding their meaning. But no matter what they did during the day, the evenings were always reserved for crocheting. They would return to their room, make themselves comfortable, spread out their work, and crochet, stitch by stitch, row by row. The blankets grew slowly, steadily. Peach's ripple pattern stretched longer and longer, the waves of blue and sea foam flowing down like the ocean itself. Biscuit's shell-stitch blanket developed into something elegant and soft, each shell a perfect little scallop. Mittens's granny squares multiplied. By the end of the third day, she had 20 squares in different shades of green, laid out on the floor in a pattern she kept adjusting, perfecting. Sunny's stripes grew bold and bright, turquoise and white marching down the length of the blanket with cheerful confidence. They worked mostly in silence, but sometimes they talked. Quiet conversations about the island, about memories from home, about nothing in particular. Sometimes Sunny hummed. Sometimes Peach would count stitches aloud, a gentle, rhythmic counting that was soothing to everyone. Sometimes Biscuit would doze off, his hands still moving, automatically, and they would smile and let him crochet in his sleep. The click of their hooks, the whisper of yarn, the soft counting, the occasional yawn, these were the sounds of their evenings. After they finished their first blankets, they started their second ones, choosing new colors, new patterns. Peach made one in sandy cream with little flecks of gold, using a moss stitch that created a soft, textured fabric. Biscuit chose shades of blue, dark navy, medium blue, pale sky, and created a gradient effect, the colors slowly transitioning from dark to light, like the ocean at different depths. Mittens started a new set of granny squares, this time in blues and whites, planning something that would look like sea foam and surf. Sunny picked coral and pink, making a blanket with a delicate lace pattern, full of little holes and swirls. The blankets piled up, 2 each, then 3 each. Their fingers knew the patterns by heart now. They didn't even need to look at their work. They could crochet by feel, by muscle memory, their hands moving in perfect rhythm while their minds drifted peacefully. Sometimes, as they crocheted, they would breathe in time with their stitches. Inhale for 2 stitches. Exhale for 2 stitches. Inhale. Exhale. The rhythm was calming, meditative, like a prayer. Outside their window, the ocean continued its endless rhythm too. Waves rolling in, rolling out, in and out, in and out. They matched their breathing to the waves, their crocheting to their breathing. Everything connected, everything flowed. One evening, Ryder stopped by to visit. They showed him the blankets they'd completed, 8 so far, 4 more in progress. His eyes grew wide. "These are amazing," he said softly, running his flipper over one of Peach's ripple blankets. "So soft, so beautiful. My friends are gonna love these." "We're happy to make them," Peach said. "It's our pleasure," added Biscuit. Ryder stayed for a while, watching them work, asking questions about the different stitches and patterns. He was fascinated by the process, the way something flat and simple like a strand of yarn could become something three-dimensional and useful and beautiful. It's kind of like surfing, he mused. You take something simple, a wave, just water moving, and you ride it, and it becomes an experience, a moment of beauty. You take yarn and crochet it, and it becomes this. He gestured at the blankets. I never thought of it that way, Mitten said. But you're right, Ryder smiled. Creativity is creativity, yeah. Whether you're riding waves or making blankets, it's all about flow, about being present, about creating something beautiful. They nodded, feeling understood, feeling connected to this kind turtle who loved the ocean as much as they loved their craft. When Ryder left, promising to visit again soon, they returned to their work with renewed warmth in their hearts. Counting stitches under the stars. One particularly peaceful evening, they decided to work outside. They gathered their projects and moved to the beach, finding a spot where the sand was soft and the view was perfect. Nothing but ocean and stars and the gentle glow of the moon. They spread out blankets to sit on and arranged their yarn and hooks around them. The air was warm, the breeze gentle, the sound of the waves constant and soothing. They began to crochet. Above them, the stars were incredible. With no city lights to dim them, they shone brilliantly. Thousands upon thousands of them spilled across the sky like glitter. The Milky Way stretched across the darkness, a river of light. They crocheted under those stars, their hooks moving steadily, catching the moonlight. After a while, Peach began to count her stitches aloud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The counting was soft, rhythmic, almost like a chant. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The others found themselves listening, their own hands moving in time with her counting. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The numbers became a meditation, each one a stitch, each stitch a breath. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Sunny joined in, counting her own stitches aloud, her voice blending with Peach's in a gentle harmony. 21, 22, 23. Then Mittens, her voice precise and calm. 24, 25, 26. And Biscuit, his voice deep and warm. 27, 28, 29. They counted together, sometimes in unison, sometimes overlapping, the numbers weaving together like the yarn in their hands. 30, 31, 32, 33. The rhythm of their counting matched the rhythm of the waves. 34, 35, 36. It matched the rhythm of their breathing. 37, 38, 39, 40. They lost track of time. They might have been crocheting for an hour. They might have been crocheting for 3. It didn't matter. The stars wheeled slowly overhead. The moon climbed higher, then began its descent toward the horizon. The waves continued, endless, eternal. 81, 82, 83. Their blankets grew longer. Peach finished a row and started another. Biscuit completed a shell and started the next. Mittens finished a granny square and started a new one. Sunny's stripes multiplied. 100, 101, 102. The counting was hypnotic, soothing. It filled their minds with numbers and rhythm and nothing else. No worries, no stress, just numbers and stitches and the feel of yarn sliding through their paws. 120, 121. Eventually, their counting grew softer, slower. Their words began to slur slightly with sleepiness. 135, 136. Their hands began to slow, moving more and more gently, as if crocheting through honey. 140, 141. One by one, they drifted off, still sitting upright, hooks still in hand, blankets draped across their laps. They dozed under the stars, the ocean singing them to sleep, the yarn warm in their hands, the world peaceful and perfect around them. The blankets are finished. The days continued to pass in their gentle rhythm, each one blending into the next like colors in a sunset. They explored more of the island, visiting a sea turtle sanctuary where they saw dozens of turtles basking on the beach. Ryder introduced them to many of his friends, each turtle kind and gentle and grateful to hear about the blankets being made for them. They tried new foods. Poke bowls with fresh raw fish and seaweed and rice, malasadas dusted with sugar and filled with custard, shave ice in rainbow colors that melted on the tongue. They surfed again with Ryder, their skills improving, their confidence growing. They could stand on their boards, now for longer stretches, riding the waves with something approaching grace. But always in the evenings, they crocheted. And slowly, steadily, the blankets were completed. 12 blankets, each one different, each one beautiful. There was Peach's ocean ripple in blue and sea foam. There was Biscuit's shell stitch in sandy beige with coral. There was Mittens's mosaic of green granny squares. There was Sunny's bold turquoise and white stripes. There was Peach's second blanket in cream with gold flecks, soft and glowing. There was Biscuit's gradient from navy to sky blue, like the depths of the ocean rising to the surface. There was Mitten's seafoam squares in blues and whites. There was Sunny's coral and pink lace, delicate as flower petals. And 4 more, each one made with love and care. A blanket in turquoise and teal with a wave pattern, a blanket in soft greens with a leaf motif, a blanket in mixed blues with a basket weave texture, and a blanket in sandy tans and shell pinks with a simple single crochet, the beauty in its perfect simplicity. 12 blankets, soft, breathable, cozy, perfect for sleeping under the stars. They folded each one carefully and stacked them in a large woven basket that Mittens had found at a local market. "They're ready," Peach said, running her paw over the top blanket, feeling its softness. "Ready to be given," agreed Biscuit. They contacted Ryder and arranged to meet him on the beach that evening. The gift. The sun was setting as they made their way to the beach, carrying the basket of blankets between them. Ryder was waiting for them at the water's edge, and with him were his friends, 11 other sea turtles, each one beautiful and unique, their shells different colors and patterns, their faces kind and wise. "Friends," Ryder said, gesturing to the Crochet Club. "These are the amazing folks I told you about, the ones who made something special for us." The turtles gathered around, curious and warm. They introduced themselves. There was Honu and Lani and Kai and Moana and Keanu, the one they'd seen while snorkeling, and Wave and current and breeze and shore and coral and pearl and, of course, Ryder himself. "We made these for you," Peach said, setting down the basket. "One for each of you, for when you rest on the beach at night." The turtles gathered around as the Crochet Club lifted out the blankets one by one, unfolding them to show the different patterns and colors. The turtles were speechless at first, just looking, their eyes wide with wonder. These are incredible," Honu finally said, his voice thick with emotion. "So soft," Lani murmured, touching one gently. "So beautiful," said Kai. Each turtle chose a blanket that spoke to them. Honu picked the ocean ripple. Lani chose the coral and pink lace. Keanu loved the green mosaic. Wave selected the gradient blues. One by one, they each found the blanket that felt right. Ryder chose last, taking the simple sandy tan and shell pink blanket. He held it against his chest, his eyes shining. "Thank you," he said softly. "Thank you so much. They're perfect. They're more than perfect." "We made them with love," Peach said simply. "We can feel that," Ryder replied. "We really can." The sun had set now, and the first stars were appearing. The moon was rising, nearly full, casting silver light across the beach. "Would you like to stay?" Ryder asked. "Rest with us tonight? See how your blankets work?" The Crochet Club looked at each other and smiled. "We'd love to." The turtles found their favorite spots on the beach, some higher up near the dunes, some closer to the water. They settled down on the sand, and each one carefully draped their new blanket over their shell and body. The blankets were perfect, soft and warm but breathable, large enough to cover but light enough not to be stifling. The yarn moved with the breeze, gentle and easy. The turtles sighed with contentment, their faces peaceful, their eyes closing. The Crochet Club found a spot nearby, close enough to feel part of the group, but far enough not to intrude. They sat together, leaning against each other in their familiar pile. Peach, then Biscuit, then Mittens, then Sunny, all in a row. They watched the turtles settling in for sleep. They watched the moonlight on the water. They listened to the waves, that endless rhythm they'd come to love. "We did a good thing," Biscuit murmured. "We did," agreed the others. They sat in silence for a while, just being, just breathing, just existing in this perfect moment. Slowly, slowly, they began to feel sleepy themselves. The night was so gentle, the air so warm, the sound of the waves so soothing. Sunny yawned, then Mittens, then Biscuit, then Peach. "Maybe," Peach said quietly, "we should rest too." "Good idea," the others murmured. They adjusted themselves slightly, getting more comfortable against each other. Mittens pulled out one of their own blankets from their bag, one they'd brought from home, soft and well-loved, and draped it over all four of them. They settled deeper into the sand, into each other, into the warmth of the blanket and the night. The ocean continued its song, in and out, in and out. The stars shone down, countless and eternal. The turtles slept peacefully under their new blankets, safe and cozy, and the Kawaii Crochet Club, surrounded by friends, warmed by the love they'd given and received, began to drift off to sleep. Drifting into dreams. Everything was soft now. Soft sand beneath them, soft blanket over them, soft breeze moving across their faces, Soft sound of waves, rolling, rolling, always rolling. Peach's breathing had grown slow and deep, in and out, in and out. Biscuit was already asleep, a gentle smile on his face, one paw resting on his belly. Mitten's eyes were closed, her face peaceful, her whiskers barely moving. Sunny was humming, so quietly now it was almost not a sound at all, just the memory of a sound, just the feeling of a tune. The moonlight seemed to grow softer, dimmer, like someone was slowly turning down a lamp. The waves seemed to grow quieter, more distant, like they were moving away, or like the crochet club was moving away, drifting somewhere peaceful and far. Stars blinked slowly, slowly. The world breathed in and out. The blanket was so warm, the night was so gentle. Everything was safe. Everything was good. Everything was exactly as it should be. One more breath, in and out. One more wave, rolling in, rolling out. One more moment of peace. And then sleep, deep, restful, perfect sleep under the stars, on the beach, in Hawaii, with friends, safe and warm and loved, nothing more to do, nowhere to go, nothing to worry about. Just sleep, just peace, just this gentle, endless moment. The ocean whispers, the stars watch, the night holds everything softly, and in this perfect place, in this dreaming island world, everyone rests, everyone sleeps, everything is peaceful, everything is well. Sweet dreams, dear friend, sweet dreams. The waves continue their rhythm, soft and eternal, as the island drifts deeper into the night, and everyone, turtles and bunnies and bears and cats and ducks, rests safely under the gentle moon, wrapped in warmth and love and the deepest, most peaceful sleep. In and out, in and out. Rest now, just rest.